What's up, guys? Nick Rapazzi here. Welcome to the Paradise C6 YouTube channel. So we are right back on the Datsun. I went through earlier today and finished welding in the main structure and everything on the inside and out. I still have to do both insides there. Started grinding the welds there down and cleaning that up so it is prepared for paint. There's still a couple more patches I still need to make. But in the meantime, I want to get content out to you guys and move to the rear section. So this is where we cut some of the fender out just to mock up the fender flare. But now I went and marked off, as you can see in the black here, this inside right here that I want to cut off. And it's still going to leave me probably like 1.5 inches, 2 inches there of meat metal that I can attach the fender flares to. But the reason behind the line being right here is I have it even with the underside of here. So when I cut this out, I'm going to cut this just along this, and if my markings are correct, this arch should match the inside of the tub arch right here. So this way, if the suspension articulates up and down, we're not going to get any of the tire running into this sharp metal right here. So it'll be one full sweep, and we can get the car a little bit lower so we can get the right fitment with the tires and wheels on this thing. So I think it's gonna look super cool, and we're gonna get to cutting this out and then building the arch metal structure that's gonna fill this in so we don't have any exposed metal going into the cabin and it won't rust from the outside in. And again, I just want to, because I haven't really showed much of the underside of this, and again, there isn't much that's totally horrible, but you can tell this back area where the bumper used to be, they made this crash bar that rusted out. The frame part right here that is rusted out, this stuff that's rusted out inside of here, I'm going to try and cut out as much of that stuff that I can, replace, box this back in so it's strong. I might actually buy some box steel to go right there to rebuild that frame structure, because this completely rotted out, and trying to make it out of flat stock is just going to suck. So that's the extent of the rust back here, because a lot of it has this thick undercoating and it protected the metal over the years. So super glad that that did that. But where they did the repairs, again, back in the 80s when they did all these repairs and all this metal work, it was just really crappy, and you could tell that this metal right here is just pulling back. So all right, so I'm just rambling, let's get to it. Let's get this metal cut, throw you guys into a time lapse, get this, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Alright guys, you guys saw that I cut the arch out of the quarter panel here, and then I put slits inside the inner fender well just so I can bend up the tabs. And I'm going to cut it and trim it a little bit more so it fits up, but at least it gives me that arch that I need, and I can weld, fill in all these cut holes and fill in all the gaps in here so nothing gets into the inside. We will seam seal this entire thing just to make sure it's waterproof. But now that I'm at the point where I cut everything out and the fender well's gone, I want to get in and cut the rusted metal that's where the rocker goes. So you guys can tell the rocker's completely just almost missing. So I'm going to come in here, cut as much of this rust out as I possibly can, and paint this, because these are fender patch panels that go over. So I'm going to put these right over, seal the inside of this so none of this will rust out, and weld this in so it completely seals this, and fix any little patches that the patch panel doesn't cover up. But this goes right over this, and we're just going to weld this in and make it seam sealed and make it like OEM. These I think I paid like want to say like 45 bucks a piece and like 15 bucks shipping to get both of them shipped here. So let's get this patch or this rust cut out, get this patch panel fitted in where it needs to be. So this way we know what needs to be welded. And then basically I'm gonna come through and just weld everything off camera because it's just time consuming as hell. It's probably gonna take me an hour just to weld in one patch panel on each side, and then probably 2-3 hours to weld all this stuff in. So I wanna get the stuff done, show you how to do it, and then I'll just come back and weld it all myself. So let's get to it. Let's get this rust cut out and we'll get this all mocked up and ready to go. All right, guys, we got both sides rocker panels cut out, and as you can see, especially with the right side passenger side of the car, the whole car has a 1/4 inch of Bondo on it, and that's because they did shitty repairs and didn't fix the metal. They just covered everything up. But everything under here seems pretty good. There is a little bit of stuff that I still need to cut out, hit with the wire wheel, just to get it all cleaned up. Box this off so it's good to go again. And same thing with the patch panel. We're gonna throw it in, box everything in so everything's covered and nothing's out of the ordinary, and everything will be sealed in the inside so this doesn't rust from the inside out again. And I think I'm gonna end it there for today. It's gonna be a 2-part video, so we'll come back tomorrow or Monday and we'll finish all this stuff up and get this thing going. Because once we have the rockers on, then I'm just gonna blast through all this stuff, get the metal work done, and same thing, I still have to do this side arch and cut and weld that in too. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this stuff off camera just so we can get ahead, and then when we come in to weld in the rocker panels and do the final welding on the arches and finish up everything in the front end, then I'll check back in with you guys. But I just wanna end it there and see you guys in the next day. So today we're gonna be working on the Datsun. The biggest thing I want to accomplish today is getting these rocker panels in mounted and where they're supposed to be. And the last time I was out here, I cut out a lot of the rust that was in here and got everything prepped so we can get ready to weld these new pieces in. To get these perfectly mounted in here the way that I want, I'm gonna have to clean up this rust area that's right here. We're gonna pour 15 all of this because it's inside, you're not gonna see it. And then we're gonna fully weld everything on here and get everything mounted up right the way it's supposed to. So these, again, these aren't factory OEM replacement rocker panels. These are cover rocker panels. So they're gonna go right over the existing metal. So that's why I have to pour 15 everything that's gonna be underneath. So this way it doesn't rust through from underneath. So I'm gonna come in here with a grinding wheel, clean up all this, get this nice and flat, ready to go. And then we'll get this thing in, start welding this thing in. But we do have to clean this and get the pour 15 on before we do any of that. So let's get to that, get the grinding wheel, get this done, pour 15 this, and then get ready to weld this in. All right, guys, we have everything cleaned up and everything's pour 15 ready to go. I even did the inside of this just because it's gonna be metal on metal, and I'd rather have both surfaces painted so this way it's not gonna rust. Granted, this car's probably gonna be garage most of its life, so it probably won't, but extra measure is just gonna help. So we're just gonna wait for this to dry, give it like 15-20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come in and we're just gonna start welding this thing in. I'm gonna clean up the spots where we're gonna actually weld it, and then put it right to it. So it should be fairly simple. It fits up super well. It's just I'm gonna use some clamps so it holds it in right where I need it to be, and weld this thing solid, and then we'll have both rockers done, and then we'll start moving towards the back and finishing up the arches like I showed you guys the last time we were doing it. So yeah, so let's wait for this thing to dry. Be 15 minutes for me and a brief second for y'all. right, guys, as you guys saw, I used the C-clamps just to hold it into the body lines to get that perfectly matched up right here in the sill itself. And then I went and I took the vice grips and crimped the seams and then welded each seam. As you guys saw, I did it in almost like 1 to 2 inch spacings, just to make sure that this thing is tight fitted, and when we go to put the gasket for the door sill on here, it'll fit up perfectly. And I did the same thing here, just a bunch of tack welds. The only reason I did a bunch of tack welds because this way I can get it on and then I can come back and fully weld the thing myself. It's just a little bit time consuming and tedious and boring for me to actually film the full welding process because I've done that plenty of times. And just wanted to show you guys how I get this to fit up perfectly, because again, this is a cover piece. This isn't a rocker replacement. They're two different things, and the rocker replacement was like 3 times the price. So not looking for an OEM build. That's why I went this route. The metal's thick enough. We sealed everything on the inside, and we're gonna seal everything on the outside so this won't rust out or cause any problems down the road from now. That's a big reason why I did that. Don't care if this is OEM and a perfect rebuild. I just want this thing to look good, be sturdy, not rust, and do an OEM plus kind of build on this thing. So I think that I'm gonna end it there. I'm not gonna show you guys the same process on the other side. I'll show you when it's finished in another video, but it's the same thing just on the other side. And then we're gonna come back and trim all this stuff and seal everything in. So I'm gonna end it there for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of getting the fender wells and the rockers fitted up and getting those all started. So we're gonna make more progress. Just another update video this weekend. I'm probably gonna spend all day Saturday on the car, so a lot of stuff will get done. I really want to get the fine-tuned metal stuff on this done, and then we're gonna start getting the roll cage in because I want to fix a lot of the floor holes next. So basically we're gonna be just moving forward and getting everything in here, and this way I can get the patch metal, figure out where the roll cage is gonna sit, and start getting everything finalized, welded in, finish the welding on the floorboards right there, and then seal everything so this thing doesn't rust again. So yeah, so again, hope you guys are having a good week. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't smashed that subscribe button, smash that subscribe button. We're almost at 3K, so I'm super excited about that. And I have all of you guys to thank for sharing videos, the newcomers that are checking in, and people that just want to follow the builds that we are going on. And again, hopefully the Corvette is up soon. I'm just waiting on the parts still. So yeah, all right, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.